picked the most difficult set ever. Smoke, mirrors in every direction. Love it. Welcome to Twilight.
You're listening to Another Bite of Twilight, a podcast where we look back on our obsession with the Twilight saga and continue to freak out 10 years later.
All right. Welcome to the podcast.
I was kind of slurping. Hey guys, welcome!
Welcome to our 4th episode.
Wow, 4th episode. Can you believe it? All these
We've
years.
come a long way. But how was your week?
This podcast has taken over my life, so basically just did that. No, I'm just kidding. It was good.
Did you do anything?
I went to Gloucester by myself.
Oh.
And I don't know, went to coffee shops. And...
Nice.
What about you?
I did boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it out last Tuesday. And
That's intense.
I couldn't walk for the rest of the week.
I went to the gym Monday and then not for the rest of the week.
See, this is why I feel like I need to do a class because I can't push myself to, like, once I was tired at the class, I was like, I know at this point I would just leave the gym.
Yeah.
But you can't just leave the class.
I do yoga, but it's not really, you don't need to sign up, you just drop in. So it's not really pressuring me to go. Like, oh, I could go, but
no. I need a pressure.
Yeah.
But I don't, like, the buzzer went off. It was like, ding, ding, ding. And I was like, oh, God, thank God it's over. But just the round was over.
Sometimes even at, like, the difficult yoga classes, I can't even believe how much more time there is. Like, oh my gosh, there's still 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
See, I'm going to try yoga as well.
Who from Twilight would do yoga? Anybody?
You mean the actors or the characters?
Characters.
Alice.
Yeah, probably Alice.
Yeah, I think Jessica would try it.
Yeah, she would be in it for, like, the health, probably, in, like, a competitive way.
Yeah, in, like, a Instagram way.
I bet Bella wouldn't do it. She'd be, like, too embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think she would.
Would Jacob do yoga?
No, he would do boxing, definitely. I think
I want Jacob to be this, like, super chill guy. Like, I have this alternative version of Jacob in my head where he's, like, I don't know, just more laid back and hippie or something.
Yeah, he smokes weed.
Yeah.
We were at a party last night and we were talking about Twilight with people, and Kelly was like, I just wish, like, Jacob just smoked weed. And, like, that's all she said. It was the only thing.
Well, I'm Kelly.
I'm Mel.
I'm Kelly Anderson.
Melissa Duffy. I don't know what these people should know me as, Mel or Melissa.
Mel and Melissa.
Yeah.
You can call me Kel, too.
Oh, yeah. Kel and Mel.
Mm-hmm. Kel and Mel Productions.
That's catchy. And this is Another Bite of Twilight.
Podcast where we... we don't need to say that.
So, we are so excited because tonight, in just a few hours, we are seeing Twilight re-released in theaters.
Yep.
10 years later.
It's back in theaters for the 10th anniversary, and Mel bought the tickets. We're going.
Even though we just rewatched it like a month ago.
Haven't you watched Twilight 3 times recently?
Yeah, I've watched it like 3 times this month. So, ideally, we would have a podcast, we'd go to see it, and we would look back on things that we noticed, but maybe
we still will notice something.
Yeah, on the big screen, it will be more apparent.
But we can't get sick of it because we believe, both of us agree, that Twilight 2008 film is the best in the movie version of the Twilight Saga.
Yep.
better than all of them. No offense to anyone who likes New Moon Eclipse Breaking Dawn more. Obviously, we like them too because we maybe we don't because we have watched them a lot. But Twilight is just on another level for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to say about that.
I wish I said this in the first episode, but recently we've been having a lot of discussions, and what I just realized is that I think my obsession for Twilight is rooted in the fact that I just love that first movie.
Yeah.
So much. I haven't read the books in a long time, so I can't really speak to that. But that first movie, it's a film. It's
quality. It is
amazing.
The best movie.
There's not a lot I would change, but the other movies, actually, so much I would change.
I'm actually not sure what I would change from the first Twilight. I need to think about that.
Yeah.
But I have been reading Twilight, the first book, and I remember when the movie came out, it wasn't exactly the books. It's kind of impossible to make a movie exactly the books. I mean, that would just be way too long. Even though it was a little bit different, I thought that the movie was so good in itself, like separately, just perfect. Like,
that's what
I really liked the book, and then the movie on its own I thought was an awesome movie. So
yeah, and I think that I love that movie so much that there's a lot of other things about the series that I don't love from then on. But because I love that movie, I excuse everything else.
I know. We were getting a little bit upset, actually, because we did a marathon recently. We watched all the movies. Well, it was over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks or something. But it was a little depressing because we realized that we just loved the first Twilight so much and that the other ones just...
They don't really compare.
I feel like I didn't realize it until recently that I really don't like them as much. And it was a little depressing. Like, oh.
Yeah, I just kept wishing they were the first one.
Yeah.
We'd watch it. I just wanted to watch the first one over and over again.
Because the first one has such a defined style. It's artistic. I mean, I think we've said this before, but it looks like an indie movie. And... I don't know. I feel like Catherine Hardwicke was just so dedicated to it and put in so much effort to really capture the greenery and like the mistiness and how, you know, dreary the weather was with the blue tint, and it had such a vibe. Like when it's a rainy day and I text you and I'm like, it feels like Twilight today, I'm not really talking about like the later movies.
Yeah.
Because they don't have
that.
Yeah. I feel like there's like rain and new moon and stuff, but she just had shots that weren't really necessary, but I think added a lot, like of people's feet in puddles and like Bella's truck driving down the street, the puddles and stuff. And
she did a lot of work for rainy days. She totally rebranded the dreary weather.
Yeah, I love it now. Since 2008, I love rainy days. I'm so happy when it feels like Twilight outside.
I was just watching a interview with Catherine Hardwicke to prepare for this episode, and she was talking about the thing that excited her most was just rebranding vampires from our perceptions of what they are. And she was getting so excited. She was like, I can just incorporate moss into the story and mossy vampires and mist and fog. Like, she was so excited about those little things that became so much of a part of what the feel of Twilight is.
So I was going to say this earlier, but there is a Twilight Renaissance going on right now. A lot of other people, you called this, you said this was going to happen, but I've noticed online that there's a lot of people getting into Twilight again, and that they're not ashamed anymore, and there's even a kind of lesbian gay Twilight thing going on right now. But I remember I saw this post the other day on Tumblr, and someone was saying how like Catherine Hardwicke was the best because she made her Victoria was barefoot and had leaves in her hair. And I was like,
yeah.
yes. And then the later Victoria just has a wig.
Is she wearing shoes?
I think so.
In the later ones?
She's not.
No.
The later Victoria isn't wild like that, you know? She doesn't have, like, that, like, dirty, like...
You're right.
Thing.
In the first one, I think she's not wearing...
Yeah, she's, like, barefoot.
in the second one, she's barefoot as well.
Well, it's the same actress, so maybe they, like, kept... And she put, like, dirt on her face. But I don't know what happened in the clips.
Yeah, that's
that
so true.
Victoria, it's a new actress, but she just didn't seem like the same person.
She's wearing a lot of layers, I feel, as well.
And she just... The first Victoria was kind of... How would you describe it? Would probably smoke weed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, the wicked curveball. Like, she's evil,
so
but she's kind of like bohemian in a way. And I just feel like the Eclipse Victoria was like, Riley, you know evil. I love you. And like, I don't know, it just didn't seem like the same person anymore.
Oh, that's so true. I never even thought about that.
First Victoria was definitely a nomad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in the woods type of person, but
oh yeah, the later one definitely wasn't. I wish that Catherine Hardwicke directed all of them, and there's been a lot of discrepancy. I have friends who are saying, like, why did the first director get fired? And that's the rumor,
but I don't think she actually did. So for some reason lately, I think because it's the 10-year, there's been a lot of articles about Catherine Hardwicke lately. And
she's been doing a lot of interviews about it.
I read an article that said that she said that she was out to dinner with Rob and Kristen and got the call that New Moon was going to start shooting in 10 weeks. And she said, what? 10 weeks? That's so soon? Like, she basically said that she didn't think she could do the film justice in 10 weeks. She was exhausted from Twilight and needed more time. And she also said that she didn't think she could pull off a good movie for New Moon. I think she just didn't believe in the story that much. She said that the whole in love with one guy, he leaves, fall in love with another guy, then the first guy comes back. She just didn't think she could pull that off. So I don't really know why there's articles saying that, like, she got fired, because I don't think that's what really happened. I think they weren't really willing to work with her on New Moon. I think that it was probably, you know, what they said went. Maybe she wanted to change some things. I'm not really sure, but I don't know. Maybe she wanted to do Eclipse, but she didn't say that. I don't know what happened, but...
Yeah. I think that they're sort of twisting her words, because she did a Vanity Fair article, or I think Vanity Fair quoted her in from a different interview, and she was saying how she was heartbroken that really she's responsible for Twilight becoming what it was, and the producers also had so much doubt that Twilight would take off. They were telling her to scrap $4 million from the budget, and they were saying, insert clip here.
And then I took in all these images that I'd photoshopped together of, like, vampires walking through a forest, because I'd never seen that. You see just vampires in the back alleys and cathedrals in London and Paris, but you don't see them in this beautiful forest with this mist. So I thought this could be something special, and they saw my images and they liked the idea, and they said, okay, well, let's go forward and try to option the material. They didn't even have an option, so they got the material. They told Stephanie that I wanted to make it much more like the book. She got on board with that, and then we just started, like, you know, figuring out how to make the movie, how much will it cost, and all that stuff. And after, you know, my Twilight, then 4 more Twilights, then Divergent and Hunger Games. Of course, all those were directed by guys, even though they were all written by women, starring women, female-centric. So that was my one disappointment. Like, why couldn't they have hired other women for all the rest of them?
Yeah.
And then I found, like, one consequence of that, all the directors of all those movies we just talked about through Hunger Games, they now all can claim, rightfully so, that they directed these big blockbuster movies. So now there's 10, 12 more men that can claim these giant box office grosses and get these other great jobs than women.
And she also goes on to say that...
This is in Vanity Fair.
In Vanity Fair, they said, Executives once told Hardwick that her film might be interesting at most to about 400 girls in Salt Lake City. It was a $37 million budget, which to me, I don't know, it sounds like a lot.
But I think that's pretty small.
Especially compared
to Hollywood standards.
Yeah, especially considering all the special effects that they would need. And it ended up grossing up to about $400 million. And executives said, we don't think this is going to really sell. And then it exceeded their expectations. Catherine Hardwick, in the interview, is talking about how she was really heartbroken because, not because I think she wanted to take over the other films, but that they were all given to male directors.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me a ton that they're directed by men, but I just feel like the vision was kind of lost and that the movies, especially in my opinion, Breaking Dawn, became really glossy and just very Hollywood blockbuster-y. Not really realistic looking, obviously vampires don't exist and stuff, so it's not going to be like real, but it just became a little silly and over the top. The scene in Breaking Dawn when the wolves are talking.
That's the worst
that
scene in the entire
when
series.
You see that,
I can't even talk about that.
When you see that scene and then think back to how artistic Twilight was, it's just crazy. I don't know. I also feel like they just lost touch of the costume design and stuff. That's just my
even
opinion,
the soundtrack.
Yeah, I think the soundtracks are good in the other movies, but
not in Breaking Dawn.
But Breaking Dawn, I don't know what happened. It just
Breaking Dawn can be a whole other episode in itself. We have so much to say about that.
But let's talk about what we love about the Twilight movie.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it today. Which I wonder who's going to be at the theater. We'll tell you. We'll tell you guys next week. If anyone else is seeing the 10-year reunion filming, let us know. Do you feel embarrassed about it? Mel was not sure if she should tell her coworker what she was doing this weekend.
Oh yeah, my coworker asked me any fun plans for the weekend. And I was like, oh, I'm going to a housewarming party and I'm seeing Twilight on Sunday, re-released in the theaters. And this woman is so nice, and she said, oh, I always associate Twilight with this time of year.
Oh, that's nice.
And she said that she remembers reading it her junior or senior year of high school in a tent in her friend's backyard.
Oh.
Yeah, and I told her it was 10 years and she couldn't believe it.
That's nice. That's a nice story. In a tent. Why is
perfect place to read it.
10-year showing, why is it today, October 24th?
Yeah,
shouldn't it be November 21st?
I don't know.
I still remember it came out November 21st.
Yeah.
That's the day that
there must be something else coming out in November.
So it's not really 10 years, right? Next month. It should be November 21st.
Maybe they forgot.
I don't know. I also had stickers on my bureau. I think that they're kind of still there. It said the date that they came out, so I can't forget.
Yeah. There's supposedly going to be never before seen footage shown.
I hope we're big fans, so we've seen a lot of things. I hope it actually is never before seen. What if we're oh, I've seen this?
And I hope it's not just when they have they throw a bit together that's Twilight was a phenomenon, and then clips of the actors just saying people dream about this book.
I did have a lot of Twilight dreams back in the day. I had a lot of dreams about Edward Cullen and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. People do dream about this book. It's interesting because some people actually completely disagree with us.
And they think Twilight's the worst one.
Yeah, and a lot of people hate the blue tint, which is weird because I just think when something has a defined style, then you've achieved something. Like you have found your voice or something to distinguish yourself from the rest. Like I think there are some movies that have like a genuine vibe, you know, and I think Twilight has that. And when someone has like a really defined music style or whatever, I don't know. I just think Twilight isn't really like anything else.
Yeah, the style reminds me of Catherine Hardwicke's 13.
I saw that movie, but not for a really long time.
Yeah, that has like an unsteady cam and kind of a blue tint, but then of course when you add the forest and the rain and everything, it's its own look and feel, and it really captured the book so well, and you can just tell it's cold outside watching it.
I wonder if they kind of did that too. If it was slightly sunny out to cover that up so that the vampires could be outside.
Oh, that's true. It's obviously sunny in the clip when they're walking in.
I know.
And he has the sunglasses on.
And Angela's like, oh
my God.
I love that scene. That's one of my favorites.
That's one of my favorites. What when we recently rewatched Twilight, something that we loved about it is that there's all these random little lines in the movie that you don't really know the context of, but they give it such a realistic feel.
Like, as if it actually is just happening in this small town. Like, when the guy at the diner says, Waylon is like, remember me, I played Santa.
Butt crack Santa?
And then, hey, kids love those little bottles.
Yeah, what are those little bottles?
Like, they don't explain that to us, but it's just kind of an inside thing. And then at the lunch table when they're talking about the newspaper story and Bella says she suggests the story Speedo padding on the swim team and they go Kirk, right? It makes no sense. He's so skinny.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah. Like they don't explain it, but it's just kind of their own
inside jokes.
High school.
Yeah. And it makes it so much more believable.
Yeah.
Whereas in the later movies, they sort of replace those little lines with jokes that are kind of catering to the audience and almost breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, yeah.
Like doesn't he own a shirt?
Like, we don't need jokes.
Yeah. Or like, do you think Bella's going to be showing, at the wedding?
Yeah.
Which are like funny in the theater when you see it for the first time, but I think it takes away so much from the small town feel of the story.
I totally agree. Are there any other little quirky moments? I mean, there are also things that they say in the movie that aren't so much like things we don't understand, but they're just kind of, I don't know, like, they're not supposed to be jokes where we're like, ha ha ha, but like when Jessica says, I like this one, it makes my boobs look good. Like, that's not really supposed to be like a punchline or anything, but
it's still funny.
It sounds
like the money, sex, cat.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. This is gonna sound weird, but I'm always in the mood to go to that restaurant.
Oh my god.
Which I've never been to. I don't even know if it's a real restaurant, but it just seems so like cozy.
Yeah.
Like, I picture like a winter night. I want to go to that restaurant. There's like lights and I don't know. I wish.
Get some mushroom ravioli.
I know. I should look that up and see if that's a real restaurant, like in Washington or something. I just like the vibe of it.
I think what's weird about that scene.
What?
Is it was in the book too, that waitress is supposed to be kind of like coming on to Edward, where she's like, is there anything else I can get you?
Yeah.
And who would ever do that when a guy is clearly there with another girl? And
I don't know.
He's supposed to be 17.
I know. I don't know. Someone who
just like, let me know.
Does anything they can to get what they want. What's weird is I have no idea why, but when I read that scene in the book, I pictured it in a crappy, like,
I think I did too.
Cafeteria type of place. Like, I don't know why I did that. Like, some kind of I don't know, 1970s style,
I think I picture like a
like
Chili's.
Forks House of Pizza type of place. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I pictured it like that. And then in the movie, I was like, oh, this is much nicer
Beautiful.
than I
Yeah.
pictured. They had some really good sets in Twilight. The prom. That's one of my. So like, what is my favorite scene in Twilight? It's a really hard decision. I mean, I love the prom scene, and that's what I want my wedding to look like. Confession.
I'll
My
help you do that.
hypothetical future husband will have to put up with that. And
Are you gonna-
Flightless Bird American
Are you
Mouth.
gonna walk down the aisle to Flightless Bird, or do you think that's gonna be
no, just like
your?
play at the
Is that gonna be your first dance?
maybe.
That's
This is gonna sound weird.
gonna be
I
mine
feel
too.
so- First dance. Does that mean like dancing with my dad?
No, it's dancing
Oh.
with your husband.
That would be weird. I know. I don't really want to do. That sounds.
Oh, I don't want to do the dance with my dad. Not that I don't love my dad,
Yeah.
but I think we would both be like incredibly awkward.
I would feel so awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because like people cry doing that and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want
It's
to.
just so emotional.
And everyone's watching you too.
I know.
I would feel so awkward.
Speaking of dads, I feel like I should say my dad came up with the name for our podcast.
Yes, thanks, Dave.
Yep, he came up with Another Bite of Twilight. He was coming up with a lot of names, actually. He was, like, on a roll.
On the spot.
Like, Twilight Hour. I forget what other ones he came up with.
We
Very
had
helpful.
some different names and some
Mhm.
discrepancies.
Yeah.
We had a totally different name.
Okay, I was gonna say, actually, that I was feeling a little embarrassed about going to the 10-year showing, but I just heard that my boyfriend Tony went to the re-release of Titanic 4 times, which is a long movie. He went to the
That's
anniversary
crazy. That's
show. Like, that's a movie that everyone, like, he had already seen it.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel a little better that he went to the
yeah.
paid money to see Titanic in
Oh my
theaters
God,
4
that's like
times.
$50 over, and then you get snacks and popcorn.
Yeah.
Shit.
Just loves Titanic. What's up with humans loving their movies, their fandoms?
Yeah.
It
Titanic is a great movie.
is. I had a French teacher who hated Titanic, and that made me kind of hate her.
Yeah.
She was
it's
like-
understandable.
She was like, how could they take this historical tragedy and turn it into a love story?
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, but what? We're just gonna watch a movie of people we don't know? Like, that's
Yeah.
how you connect to a story. Like, you need
That's
to have
true.
characters. And I don't think they just turned it into a love story. Like, that pulls at your heartstrings. Like,
It
when you hear-
humanizes it.
Yeah.
But Adele had a Titanic
Oh, I know.
birthday party, and they wore like life jackets, like dancing on the dance floor.
Oh my
and
gosh.
people thought, oh, like that's a little wrong.
They had life jackets? I didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought that they just dressed like it.
Yeah, they
I thought that was
did.
really cool.
but then she had like life jackets as well.
I don't know. People need to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I think it's crazy that we're shooting this in Salem right now, and really the town of Salem has marketed
Massachusetts.
Salem, Mass, and they have marketed so much off the Salem witch trials.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah. It's all witch stores and
haunted houses,
witch tours and, yeah, the witch house. I mean, some of it is, like, historical. Some of it's just people that are into that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of wrong, but I also feel like whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't tend to get that upset about
Yeah.
things like that. I think it's like, because of what happened here, people that think they're witches or like identify with that think it's some kind of like defiance to come here. People who are into witchcraft come to this place where witches, where people are accused of witchcraft, were killed as like a way to, I don't know, stick it to the man or something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's weird. There is a vampire store here in Salem. And at this one store called Pomplamoose, I found this bottle of wine that is like, I think it's called Vampire or something like that. We should get it.
Do you think that vampires exist in real life?
I hope so. Okay, I've been thinking about vampires a lot lately. Like,
we should do an episode
like,
on real life
this
vampires.
sounds so. I feel like vampires aren't really in, like, still, but I almost want to write, like, my own vampire thing because I still love vampires. Like, besides Twilight, I do like vampires. They're, like, my favorite.
I'm wondering
mystical
if I should
thing.
be one for Halloween.
I don't know.
want
I was
to.
one 2 years ago, so I don't know if that's lame of me to do it again. It's really fun, though.
I really want to wear the contact.
It's fun.
Do they hurt?
No, it was just, I had never worn contacts before,
Yeah, I've
so
never
it
stuck
was
them in.
hard to put it in. Like, at first I thought it wasn't going to happen. Like, I was trying for, like, half an hour to put it in my eye, and I just kept checking out, and then I would put it on, and then it kind of, like, came off, and it bent, and then I had to, like...
Yeah, I don't know.
But eventually it happened, and, like, once they're in, it doesn't hurt at all.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt. It's fine. It's not
How do you
that
take them
bad.
out?
You kind of just, like...
Poke it?
kind of just like
Oh shit, I hate like anything touching the eye.
it is weird, but some people do it every day. So.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they re-released it, to be around Halloween.
Maybe.
I don't know. I know someone who works there. I should ask.
What do you think is the scariest Twilight, if any?
Breaking
that
Dawn
scary,
Part
but-
1, probably.
It is scary.
It's
disturbing.
really scary.
The part when like she reaches down to pick up the cup and like
Her
back breaks or legs
fold over.
Oh, that reminds me of Black Swan.
Yeah, that one is like a horror movie. That one's like exorcisms shit. I think Twilight, seeing it in theaters was kind of scary. I remember I saw it with my mom, and when they're in the truck and they're driving, and then Emmett jumps on the back of the truck, my mom screamed. Woo!
She screamed.
Yeah.
Oh
it was so embarrassing.
I always get so embarrassed when I jump at things in the movie.
Yeah.
I almost feel like, so I went to Witch's Woods the other day with my dad and Shannon. We actually only did the free stuff. We didn't go into the actual thing. It's like a thing in Massachusetts, but I'm sure they have it all over, stuff like it. It's like a haunted woods thing. But I realized I think that the reason I'm really scared of stuff like that, like haunted houses, isn't so much like what's gonna happen. I'm more embarrassed that I think I'm gonna get scared and then I'm gonna like scream or something and like embarrass myself. Like I'm afraid to get scared because I'm gonna act really
How you're gonna
scared,
react.
and then everyone will be like, "Oh, you're a loser."
Yeah.
Because that wasn't that scary. I hate when you're
So
scared
if you're
of
by
something.
yourself, are you okay with being scared?
Well, I'm just talking about like haunted, like Halloween type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was this guy that was dressed up and he was like on stilts, and like obviously I know it's just a guy. Like I'm telling myself like it's just a guy in a costume, but like I felt really nervous that he was gonna walk over towards me because I was gonna like get scared and freak out. I do get scared. Like I get scared.
Does anything in Twilight scare you?
Not really. I feel like the intro to Eclipse was kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I ever really felt so scared in Twilight. But Breaking Dawn Part 1 for sure is just disturbing. That's like a different kind of horror.
Yeah, and when she just looks all gross. I love the way the first movie starts.
Me too.
With just that deer.
It's so creative. Mel, what are some of your favorite parts in Twilight?
My
2008.
favorite scene, I think, might be the meadow scene when he's telling her that he's a vampire and he's crouched in the tree and he says, "My family, we're not different of others from our kind." And I remember just seeing
Yeah, that's a great part.
I remember seeing him in the tree and thinking when I was in the theater, this is going to be an iconic scene
Yeah.
in movie history. Like, this scene is going to be memorable. I don't know what the most memorable scene from Twilight is, though.
I don't know. I feel like they did use that picture of him in the tree looking down at her a lot. I love something about that part is amazing. I don't know why.
I love when he yells.
Oh yeah, me too.
So sexy.
I know.
I think a big thing about Twilight is that Robert Pattinson is just so hot.
Yeah, he is beautiful in Twilight.
And
it's insane.
He's great looking in the other ones, but in Twilight especially. I recently rewatched it with my friends, Ryder and Kath, and they kept being like, it's not even fair to the other ones. Like, they're supposed to be good looking and they look like nothing compared to Robert Pattinson.
Like the other Cullens.
The other Cullens. They're like, these people are ugly compared.
I know, he's so good looking. I don't get how some people thought he wasn't. I don't know. I guess everyone has their type.
I think now people are really recognizing how great Robert Pattinson is. And probably, like, not really in association with Twilight. But, like, Pete Davidson is obsessed with him.
He seems like a nice guy. Robert Pattinson, I mean. But yeah, Edward looks so good in the first one. I know he didn't like it, but when they plucked his eyebrows, I feel like it looked good.
Yeah. I don't think they really kept up with that in Eclipse and Breaking Dawn.
His hair looked awesome.
He had such a defined look. I remember I got a peacoat.
Yeah.
Because of that movie.
Perfect. One of my favorite scenes is probably when Bella goes in his room. And there's like an extended version, which I wish they kept because she looks at his 100 years of journals. I think that's so fascinating and like I wish I could read them.
Yeah.
And but I think that's a really intimate scene. Like when she puts on his music and Clairvoyant's great. And then he's like, I don't know.
I feel like without any exposition, they reveal, besides maybe him saying he doesn't sleep.
Oh, yeah.
They reveal so much about Edward.
Yeah.
Especially for someone who hasn't read the book to know that he's, you know, an older soul.
Yeah, into music.
Writing. Everything's kind of like on the, not the bed, but like the futon thing that he has. There's like papers and stuff that are scattered. You can tell he's like
a smart intellectual.
Yeah.
You know, type of guy.
Yeah.
And then she says, no bed, which is the best. Everyone laughed at that when I first saw Twilight.
Yeah.
And
because it's like supposed to be suggestive, right? But that thing is kind of a bed.
I know, that's the weird. It should have been totally more of a couch.
Yeah. There's definitely...
Like you could sleep there.
Yeah. Just like, it's an uncomfortable looking bed, but...
Yeah, my roommate Madison actually slept on a futon.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that was her bed. So...
In your apartment? Oh, I didn't know that.
She just put blankets and stuff on top of it, so you couldn't really tell, but...
Cool.
No bed?
No. I don't sleep.
I wouldn't mind not sleeping because I'm such a sleepy person in general. Like, I'm tired all the time. So I wouldn't mind not feeling tired.
Yeah, you could get so much work done.
Yeah. You could still lie there and close your eyes, I guess. Maybe it would be weird that you can never, like, just shut off for a bit.
You know what's an amazing scene?
What?
The kiss scene. The chemistry
so hot.
Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart and that movie
scene is amazing.
Is unreal.
I remember back in the day, my friend recorded that scene on her NV, which had like a terrible camera, and we would just rewatch it.
Oh my god!
On this tiny little grainy video.
I feel like that movie was kind of like a sexual awakening for
Yeah.
so many girls our age.
I know. It was like, damn, I want to make out with someone.
That was like the first time watching that scene that I probably ever felt like anything.
It's such a tease too, because like it's so hot, but then it ends so quickly.
Yeah. She's, I'm pretty sure, just wearing underwear in that scene as well, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or like really short shorts. I love it. Oh my gosh. The kiss scene is amazing.
And then what I liked about Twilight, because in the other movies, they just like make out in every single scene.
Oh, yeah.
In Twilight, we just have that one, and then they kiss.
At the end.
Kisses her on her neck at prom, and you think, I mean, if you know the story, you know it's not going to happen, but he goes so slowly that you think he's going to bite her neck almost. And then they just have a sweet little kiss, and that's it. And I feel like...
Yeah, there's only 2 kisses.
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
But I feel like that makes you... That just adds to the tension.
Yeah.
Whereas then they're just like making out every other scene.
Tension is good. I mean, in Jane Austen books, I don't think they even kiss. Ever. But they're still so romantic, and there's such build-up.
Yeah.
Build-up's what it's all about. Maybe that's why Twilight feels the most exciting, because it's like, is it gonna happen? Like, what's gonna happen? Learning that he's a vampire and stuff.
There's so much tension. That first scene when he's with her in biology, and you're like, why is he acting that way?
Yeah.
Through her perspective.
There is so much tension. I'm actually reading the book right now, and people complain a lot that Twilight's a little overwritten, like there's too much detail, and that it should have been edited down, which, like, yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, probably, but I kind of like it because it describes Bella's every move, like what she does. She wakes up, goes to school, comes home, makes fish for Charlie, like, does her homework. But throughout all of that, there'll just be like little mentions of her like thinking about Edward and like wondering what he's up to. And that just adds to the build-up, actually. Like that all this time, like wondering and thinking, and then she finally sees him, and then there's like so much detail to every little thing that it really builds it up. You're like, oh my god, like they're finally talking, and you know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like writing poorly in order to write well.
I mean, I think that that's how it is to have a crush. Like you are kind of just driving to school and
they just
stuff,
seep into your thoughts.
Yeah. And it was relatable, even though it's about vampire.
I was just reading a quote from, we can probably talk about this when we're talking about casting, but Catherine Hardwicke was talking about things that she would change about Twilight, and one of them is she wanted more diversity in the cast.
Oh, yeah.
And Stephenie Meyer was like, no.
She said she wanted to make Alice Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Probably doable.
I think so.
That would have been cute.
I think that's one thing that Stephenie Meyer could have done better, is she sort of wrote this world where everyone's really pale, and that automatically makes everyone really white. And it would have been interesting in the Cullens, especially if you had diversity.
Yeah. I think that Catherine Hardwicke did at least what she could and did a pretty good job. I mean, she did make Tyler black and Eric Asian. Like, I know that wasn't in the book, or it wasn't mentioned. So.
And she was able to get Laurent.
Which Laurent wasn't described as being black.
He was described as having olive skin. So there's a quote with Catherine Hardwicke saying, They're black olives.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah. I feel like she really fought to have more diversity. I love Catherine Hardwicke so much, and shout out to her for being in our intro.
Yep, that's Catherine Hardwicke in our intro, if you didn't know. We quoted that all the time, so we thought, oh, why not just put it in our intro?
That clip
The
was like one of the first things that actually did welcome us to Twilight.
Yeah. It was actually on the Penelope DVD, which I literally bought. I bought that DVD just for the Twilight preview thing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We still have it.
That's funny. It was on. I
liked that movie, but not really enough to buy on DVD.
That's not bad. I remember seeing that on the Stephanie Meyer website.
Why didn't I just watch on the website? I don't know. It had like a clip. It had the clip from. It had Edward's bedroom scene on the DVD.
No way.
So it was like a sneak peek.
I'm so excited about what we'll see today.
I hope it's good.
I really want to see the audition tapes.
I know.
I don't think that we're probably ever going to see them.
That's not fair.
We've poured so much into this series that we deserve to see it.
I know.
You know what? Something I liked about Twilight that it's kind of weird.
Tell me.
When Billy Black goes to Charlie's to watch. I don't think you're thinking of the same thing.
Oh, no. Is it when he drives by?
No, I knew that's what you were thinking of though. When he like gives that really weird stare.
Out of his car window. He deserves an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, that look. He kind of reminds me of Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I see that.
Physically.
Yeah.
His nose or
So
something.
what part do you like?
Oh, when he's like, Harry Waters homemade fish fry, and the bag is like so greasy and gross looking.
I like that part too. I remember I got french fries once in a paper bag and it looked like that and reminded me of Twilight.
No way.
Like, wow.
Everything comes
Greasy
back
bag.
to Twilight.
Yeah.
I just love, I know we keep saying this, but the feel and how they captured it too is you can really picture this like teenage Bella living. Her house felt so real. It all just felt realistic and it wasn't perfect.
The part when she goes in the kitchen and pours herself some water and takes a sip and then it's just like and then just like dumps it out. And then, like that scene had nothing.
He's like, your mother called.
Yeah.
She seems good. She seems happy.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she is.
Like, not much really happened.
Yeah.
It was just a little snapshot.
I felt like that scene, it seems not very important, but it revealed a lot about the conversation between Bella and her dad.
Because there's a lot of that in the book. It showed a lot of their meals together and how they didn't really talk much until they were done eating. That wasn't in the movie, but I feel like that was a shorter way to show us what their dynamic is like.
I like that they didn't cut that. I could see the later, once it's a big movie, like not including that in.
Oh, isn't it heartbreaking when she leaves and is like yelling at Charlie?
Oh my god, that's
he's like,
the
I just got your back bells.
Oh my god, that's the worst scene.
But in a good way.
In a good way.
It's like so heart-wrenching.
Oh, that's so sad. Charlie's like my third favorite character.
I love
of the
Charlie.
Whole movie.
He's so great. Oh, baseball scene.
Oh my
Classic.
god.
It's funny, a lot of people online recently keep making jokes about they're being earnest by saying they love the baseball scene, but there's this one meme I saw recently that said, "Call me when Citizen Kane has contributed to film half as much as the baseball scene in Twilight." But yeah, that scene is just when supermassive black hole starts playing.
Oh my god. Apparently that scene is where a lot of the special effects cuts were made.
Oh, really?
To minimize the budget.
I think they did a good job.
Oh,
I don't
great.
really watch that scene and think that they needed more special effects.
The only time I think the special effects aren't so great is when he they're in his room,
Mm-hmm.
and then they jump to that tree outside, and like the close up on his face as they're kind of flying almost looks kind of stupid.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
I remember that. I also think when he has her on his back and he's running up the mountain, it looks a little
Yeah,
silly.
it's a little weird. But I can forgive it.
Yeah,
It's like that's literally like the smallest
yeah.
thing.
It's not that bad.
No. You better hold on tight, spider monkey. Put that in. That's such a great line.
It is.
I love the fight scene.
Oh, in the ballet studio?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good. I love when she gets bitten. Oh my gosh, and Edward's sucking the venom out, and then she has that little
Yeah, just basically
dream thing.
what happens. Oh, the dream thing, apparently, I was just reading that it was supposed to be an underwater sequence,
Oh, yeah.
but they didn't have it in the budget anymore, so they just sent it out to some service to take shots that they already had and make a little dream sequence.
Oh. Whoever made that dream sequence is amazing.
So good.
They're
when
an
the
artsy
snow
person. Oh,
falls.
who made that?
And that's nice because
I didn't know they, like, outsourced that.
Yeah, they did.
It's so good.
And it's like her looking back on her life.
Wow.
There's a lot of imagery in Twilight that's very artistic, like when they're in the classroom
Mm-hmm.
and behind him is some type of eagle.
I think it's an owl.
An owl.
And its wings are open. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, it looks beautiful.
What do you think of the part in Twilight when he drops the apple and he catches it and it's the book cover?
A little silly, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it. It's fine. What about when Stephanie Meyer is in the movie?
What do they say to her?
Trisha Gardenberger, Stephanie, because she's like a vegetarian.
She is?
No, I don't know about in real life, but in homage to
Oh,
Edward being a vegetarian, I think.
It actually, that doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of cute, but in Breaking Dawn,
I hate it.
I feel like they had the camera on her a little too long.
Yeah, and it was Stephen Godfrey or whatever, who's the producer. I don't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's there with her, and I think maybe even Melissa Rosenberg.
That's too much.
Yeah. And the whole thing was like character looking at her creator.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
I liked it more with her just being a random person in the diner.
Yeah.
It does. It's kind of weird that they say her name.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't keep me up at night.
Yeah. I don't need it. They could have cut it and it wouldn't have made a difference at all. Oh, and she's supposedly working on Breaking Dawn because Breaking Dawn was still being written at the time that this was filmed.
Didn't you said to me earlier that Catherine Hardwicke didn't know because Breaking Dawn hadn't come out yet. She didn't know that's where the series was going.
It almost made it seem like she wouldn't have worked on Twilight if she had read Breaking Dawn. She was asked about a lot of the criticism that Twilight receives, sort of what we talked about in our last couple episodes. And she said, Hardwicke explains that the fourth book, Breaking Dawn, in which Bella dies giving birth, had not yet been written when she directed the first film. So, she says, some of the issues you touched on fit more into the fourth book, which didn't even exist. I didn't know that was where things were going to go.
Nice save.
Yeah.
That is funny, though. It does change dramatically from the first story to the fourth one.
Yeah.
I just love Twilight. I wish there was more of the first movie. I don't know.
I wish just Catherine Hardwicke ended up directing all of them and they all had the same feel. But I don't mind New Moon. I like the feel of that one.
I like the feel. I like the brown and gold kind of warm vibe of New Moon.
Yeah.
I think that they did a pretty good job with New Moon. A few things I don't know if I should get into this. This is probably for another episode, but a few things about New Moon kind of bother me. Like, I don't really like the dream with the grandma.
Yeah, but that was in the book, though.
I know, but something about it feels like, I just don't like dreams that much to begin with, but it just doesn't feel realistic at all. Like, I know it's a dream and dreams don't really feel real, but I wasn't really tricked into thinking, like, why would a grandma be standing in the middle of a meadow by herself? Like,
Yeah.
she walks through the trees.
You know what's kind of weird? Is that she's running in the beginning of that dream and she's at the Volterra.
Yeah.
How does she even know what that is yet?
I know. It's just, like, for the sake of the movie.
Yeah.
That's the next part I was going to talk about. The Volterra stuff also kind of bothers me. It doesn't really... Well, I guess you need it, but something about the way it looks just doesn't, like, fit in with the Twilight universe. And I don't know what they could have done about that, but something about just, like, the way it looks just doesn't feel, like, cohesive. It just doesn't belong.
Yeah, sort of a larger, like, criticism is that, well, Twilight is just a smaller story.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. They run into these vampires. They gotta get away. And it all just works.
Yeah.
But then the later movies and books, it's all just an extension of that first plot. Like, oh, then Laurent comes back in the second one. And then they're still dealing with Victoria in the third one. All the way back from the first movie.
Yeah,
and it's right. Like she was just kind of with James. Like, I guess maybe they were a couple, but it's weird how
I think they were a couple.
That plot is being dragged on still. Whereas the momentum and the drive, it's all just like so heavy in that first one. And they kill James, so then it's like, and then they kill Laurent, the wolves do. So then it's like, oh, they're probably gonna kill Victoria too. Not that surprising.
Yeah, someone should have died. A good guy should have died.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode in itself. We'll talk about everyone who should die in the movie. Well, that's what's nice about the first one is they created that Waylon character.
Oh, yeah.
And you only met him briefly, but, you know, he's
Charlie's friend.
Yeah, right? and so you felt sad for him when he died.
Yeah.
Which we don't really experience in the later movies that much.
I just think Twilight is a piece of art. And I think it is my favorite movie.
Oh, it's my favorite movie.
Of all. What are your other favorite movies?
Good question. Maybe Castaway?
Interesting. I was not expecting that. Castaway.
Rolled off the top of my...
I do like that movie.
What about you?
Heathers is like my other favorite movie. Perks Being a Wallflower. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, how could I forget? When Harry Met Sally. Oh my god. And You've Got Mail. I love You've Got Mail.
I love those.
Yeah, I love When Harry Met Sally so much. That has a vibe, but it's very much like autumn. I always think of that.
Yeah.
Turtlenecks
autumn
and stuff.
In New York.
Yep.
In the 90s.
Yep. And New Year's Eve. I always think about When Harry Met Sally when it's New Year's Eve. I love that movie. Maybe we should start When Harry Met Sally podcast.
Oh, I would do it.
Just kidding. There's enough to talk about. Meg Ryan podcast. Sleepless in Seattle. Seattle,
like that
Washington. Twilight.
Oh, shit. Connection.
Stalking?
Stalking.
Oh my god.
That's true. No sleeping.
There's such a connection here. Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, shit. Twilight is basically Sleepless in Seattle. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Gosh. Gets a lot of criticism.
Yes.
Yes.
That's so... I never even thought of that.
Kind of love triangle.
I have to see it again. I forget what happens.
Well, it's not really love triangle, but she has a boyfriend and then is like in love with this guy in Seattle.
And he has like a dead wife. Yeah.
Dead wife, Harry Clearwater.
Oh, no, he's dead.
No.
Billy Black, dead
Billy
wife,
Black.
though.
Billy Black is supposed to have 2 daughters, too.
Oh,
They
yeah, we never see
mention
them.
Jacob's
Yeah.
They never mention Jacob's sisters. I was just reading in the book. I totally forgot this. He said that one of his sisters moved to Hawaii with her Samoan boyfriend.
Oh.
And then his other sister went to Washington State. So that's
no
what they're
way.
up to. Yeah.
She's just
What
like,
does Jacob do with his life? I
Yeah.
don't know. It seems like he just stays in Forks and hangs out with Renesmee for the rest of his life.
does he graduate
I
high
don't
school?
know. They don't tell us what goes on with him.
Yeah.
I like Jacob in the Twilight movie
Oh,
because he seems like,
he's so innocent and sweet.
and he seems like annoyed that people are prejudiced against the Cullens.
Yeah.
Which later he changes his mind, but he kind of shakes his head when they say the Cullens don't come here.
Yeah, and he's like telling the stories from the tribe, and he's like, it's just a story, Bella.
Yeah.
And then when his dad tells him to go to prom, he's kind of embarrassed
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
he says he wants you to stay away from your boyfriend. He like feels bad about it.
Yeah. Quote, we'll be watching. And then when Bella says,
Bella's
"Well, I better-
way too chill about
well,
that.
I better pay up," and then he's just kind of like, yeah, yeah. He doesn't actually like believe in what
Yeah.
his dad said. Later he does, but
She's like way too chill about that.
I
If
know.
someone came to prom, like my dad's friend's kid showed up at my prom and said that,
yeah.
I would be very offended.
But I guess she knows that he's a vampire, so
Yeah.
it's not like just because he's some teenage boy that people hate.
My therapist was telling me that she loved Twilight because she actually had a boot on her
Oh,
foot when she went to prom.
no way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or maybe not when she went to prom, but when she saw the movie in theaters. She had a boot.
I love Twilight's Bella. What am I saying? I love Bella's prom look. Even though, like, I don't know if I would wear that to prom. It's very her. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's cute. She has leggings under her dress.
Oh, yeah.
And Converse and like a cardigan.
Yeah. And she's walking through that thing, and they don't even, they take a picture, they don't look at it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Something we noticed watching Twilight recently is
Oh
that
yeah, I think I know what you're gonna say.
Bella a lot of times is super rude to
Yeah.
people.
Like my sister.
Yeah.
No, but people. Okay, Eric starts to ask her to prom. They're in the doorway to the classroom, and he goes, "So, like, do you want to go to a prom or something?" And then that's when Mike comes up and goes, "How you liking the rain, girl?" And Bella just walks away.
She just walks away
She
because
doesn't
she
even-
sees Edward, and then
She doesn't even acknowledge that Eric just asked her to prom.
No, she's so rude about it. And when Mike is asking her to prom, she
Also doesn't respond.
she just like blanks out.
Yeah. She spaces out, and he's like, "To prom
To prom
with
me? Oh, to prom. Oh,
dancing,
dancing. Not really. She makes it super obvious that she's coming up with an excuse.
And then she goes. To
She
prom
goes to prom. What a fucking bitch.
after lying that she's going to Florida.
Oh my god. I guess maybe she couldn't go because she had a boot.
Actually, they left out in the movie. In the book, Tyler asks her to.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's like
I
unrealistic.
know. Yeah.
They're all just bored with the other girls.
Yeah. And then they also left her out of the movie, but there was a girl, Lauren, and I guess she liked Tyler, and it's like part of the reason she hated Bella. I would hate Bella too, probably, if everybody loved her, and like, I don't know. I'd be jealous.
Yeah. Or like, how about when she rolls up to school the first day and Tyler's like, nice ride.
Oh, I know.
And she doesn't say anything.
Oh, yeah. She just doesn't respond.
Or when they're all hanging out and they throw licorice at her
Yeah.
and she just like holds up her book.
Doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say anything. It's reading my book. I would hate her. What's wrong with this girl? Isn't it New Moon when Edward leaves and she's sitting at the table by herself?
I know.
She's not eating anything.
I like Bella, but I can see why her classmates would.
Yeah.
Like, we're not part of it, but if we were, we might be like, what's up with her?
Yeah.
So funny.
We also noticed that Bella hits her head so much in this series.
Oh my gosh,
she
it's crazy.
Should have a concussion.
She hits her head all the freaking time.
Yeah. There's like no way you could hit your head that many times and not have traumatic.
Hits it really hard too.
Yeah.
Like in Twilight, during the fight scene when James throws her against, doesn't she hit her head against the wall?
Yeah, it's like the corner of the wall too,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That's so, like, you could die from that.
And she reaches up and she sees like blood.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine like blood coming out of the back of your head?
Oh shit.
And then in New Moon, when she's on the motorcycle, hits her head on a rock.
And there's blood.
And then when she clip dives, she hits her head on a rock.
Again. Oh god, I can't even think about this. She should like what if like she just like hit her head so many times and like this whole story is made up? She's like
maybe.
Does she hit her head? Does she actually hit her head when
the van?
The van, yeah. Because when Edward says like you hit your head, you're confused. Is he just gaslighting her there?
In the book, she did hit her head a little bit, but not that bad. Because I think that while Edward was trying to save her, he kind of like pushed her onto the ground a little bit. But wait, does she hit her head in New Moon with the paper cut when she's thrown across?
Oh yeah, room? That's another time. Oh no, it's a lot.
I don't think she did hit her head with the van though.
Yeah,
but she falls when she's walking to her van when it's icy outside.
Oh yeah, she falls on her butt. Yeah, butt injury.
That girl falls a lot. She gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Fell down a window. No, you fell out a window. Sounds like me.
Yeah, it sounds like me. You should play that clip. I would not believe that story if I was her mom.
I know.
Did they go and actually smash a window?
Yeah, I think they did.
Oh, well,
that must have been confusing for her mom. That the story is she wanted to leave Fork so bad that she ran out and fell downstairs and fell out a window because she was like trying to leave so quickly. Then when Renee is at the hospital, she's like, "So you can come home with me?" And she's like, "No, I want to live in Fork."
Yeah, that's so true.
She's like, no, I want to stay. And like,
yeah.
What, honey? What? Like this whole thing was about you wanting
to leave.
Like you almost died trying to leave Forks, and now you want to stay.
That's so true. No, I'm not leaving. Forks is my home. No,
Yeah.
that's what she says.
Like that contradicts everything you just said.
That's so true.
Okay,
we'll talk about it. That is so funny.
Wow. Talk about moody teenager.
I know. So what do they do? What happens with the ballet studio? Do they repair it?
I thought they like burned it down.
They start a fire.
I thought the whole thing burned down.
That poor business owner.
Innocent ballet instructor.
Yeah.
In Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
I know. I'm just thinking of like my dance teacher growing up.
Oh.
Does not deserve that.
We don't have to keep this in, but it's kind of interesting. Catherine Hardwicke trained as an... I'm reading the Twilight Director's Notebook by Catherine Hardwicke. The story of how we made the movie. And it says Catherine Hardwicke trained as an architect at the University of Texas and started in film as a production designer. She designed over 20 films. I wonder if that's how, like she did production, like the set designs, I think.
Oh.
Interesting.
It's 5, almost 5:15.
We should probably get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should leave soon.
We're gonna be late for the movie.
Uh-oh.
I
hope we covered everything, but basically that's why we think Twilight is the best movie in the Twilight saga. And we're going to talk about the other movies another time, but let us know what you think is your favorite and why. Do you totally disagree with us? Let us know.
Are you going to the movie tonight? Tell us how it goes.
Yeah. Or when you hear this, it would have been a few days later. But actually, it will have been
a couple weeks.
We're going to wear Team Edward shirts. No shame.
No shame.
Breaking this shirt out for the first time in a long time.
I look like a loser. Loud and proud.
All right. You can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube,
Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And let us know, if possible, what your preferred method is. So we
trying to figure this out.
Yeah, we don't know.
And thanks to everybody who listened so far. Like, I seriously thought only my 2 sisters and my parents were going to listen to this. Yeah. So it's just awesome that we got more than 4 listens. And I'm amazed.
My mom started listening and she was like, I didn't know how long it was going to be, and she stopped.
No way.
Yeah. She was like, oh, it was cute, but too long.
But you're supposed to listen to podcasts while you clean.
Yeah, she was cleaning. That's why I was surprised.
Like, why can't you just...
I don't know.
Like, while you're walking somewhere or driving.
I don't know. I was really...
The people last night at the party said that they like it when podcasts are like an hour long.
Yeah.
So, can't please everybody.
Nope. Not my mom. Too many knives.
Not even this beautiful movie. Can't please everybody. Thanks for listening. You can contact us at anotherbiteoftwilight@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at anotherbiteoftwilight. The music is by Traces. See you next time.